Okay, Maravina, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Well, happy Cinco de Mayo, Belle. Thank you.
Now I have mine.
You guys.
I'm so excited because today we get to talk to Nicholas Gonzalez.
Oh my gosh, and there he is. Hello, Nicholas.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, and happy Cinco de Mayo to you. Can we see that? Is that your Border Town cup?
Oh, I didn't even notice. It is.
Welcome to the Trend Talk. We are your hosts, Belle Hernandez and Maravina Jaimes. Joining us today is actor, activist, husband, and daddy, Nicholas Gonzalez. You most recently saw him on ABC's The Good Doctor as Dr. Neil Melendez. Of course, as you already know, he died in the last episode of the third season. However, all his fans took to Twitter and Instagram and Facebook lamenting the fact that he had died and they wanted him back. Well, we don't know if that's going to happen, but we have streaming and reruns so that we can keep looking and enjoying his performance, Nicholas's performance as Dr. Neil Melendez. And I'm sure we're going to see him very soon in something awesome because that's just the kind of guy he is. Nicholas, before we bring you on, we're going to look at some of your work.
You know what? You're going to kill it in the ratings. Everybody's talking about how brave you and your teammates are.
Really?
Yep.
Gosh, I figured everyone would just think we were ripping off Colin Kaepernick's protest.
Oh, please. If every Latino player did what you're doing, you'd be getting calls from world leaders.
I'm just trying to figure out how to retire, not start a civil war.
Oh.
Have you guys met?
No, I don't think we have.
This is Detective Marco Fury. He is my new supervisor.
La Fiesta Noche Show?
La Fiesta Noche Show? Hola, bud. I couldn't help but hear you were going to throw out tickets to Fiesta Noche. My father and I have watched that show together for 40 years.
Welcome to the Trend Talk, Nicholas.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here with you guys.
Thank you so much for joining us, Nicholas. My goodness, you have such an impressive body of work. Everything from landing one of the leads in Resurrection Boulevard to Pretty Little Liars, being Mary Jane, Sleepy Hollow. I mean, you've even tackled the animation world with Border Town. You make it look really easy, you know, but it's not. But we want to know what your secret weapon is that keeps you surviving as an actor from one series regular to the next.
You know, I think it really comes from making your life rich and concentrating on our lives. I think as actors, as artists, we get so caught up in what we're trying to do or what a new project we're involved in or where we want to be, where our career should be, that we sometimes put our lives on hold, you know, and we wait on children, we wait on marriage, we wait on travel, and so we miss out on so many things with our family, with loved ones. If we could just make that a priority, then work becomes that thing that's a fun hobby, a fun escape, something that doesn't feel like work. So ideally, that's what I've tried to keep that attitude.
What was the big struggle that you had coming from, and you came from, graduated from Stanford University, moved into town and said, I'm going to be an actor. Were those the hard times? Or are you still having the hard times?
You know, my struggle was, coming from Stanford and coming to Hollywood and trying to think my way through, you know, acting and thinking, you know, that was the problem. So, you know, funny enough, that was probably the issue, is I was so much in my head and trying to control things so much early on. But, you know, the struggle is with the art. You know, the struggle is allowing yourself to call yourself one, you know, and putting up so much work that it ideally it can't help but get better. But we all start somewhere, you know, and to look back, you know, I see some of those clips and it makes me nostalgic, but at the same time, it makes me like, oh man, I would just approach all of that differently, you know, but that's life. And that's our careers when we have the luxury to look back on them like that. But I can't even remember the question because.
Well, let me ask you another question. Okay. I know that early on when you got to LA, speaking of, you know, arriving in LA, you right away started doing something that not a lot of talent does, but more and more they do, is you started giving back. Right from the beginning, you started going to the orphanages in Tijuana. You host blood drives at hospitals, and you work for the farm workers. You advocate for farm workers, and you're involved with several different organizations. But you use your platform to help. What makes you want to help, and what do you get from this?
Well, first of all, I'll say what has helped me from the very beginning of my career. I was very lucky enough to be introduced to David Damien Figueroa by the wonderful, lovely actress Alma Martinez, who I also owe my career to, and that's another longer story, but one you've probably heard.
Yes.
It was David Damien who pulled me aside at very early on in my career and said, we need to get you civically involved. And that was everything from small meetings to getting involved with MALDEF and later ARP that he's involved, but also a lot of local government. I was introduced to early on and introduced to a lot of the causes that, honestly, I wasn't aware of even when I was growing up in San Antonio, Texas, which was a very different environment than what Chicanos were going through in, California. So I had my hand held from a very, early age. And I know he did that for a few other actors and friends. I say a few, several people. And, and then on throughout my career, other people that have come along, Felix Sanchez at National Hispanic Foundation for the Arts has been instrumental in getting me involved. And Antonio Tijerino, most recently, has got me involved in this fight for the farm workers. To me, it's, there's not much that I feel we can control in life, and that's the big rub with everything. You want to hold it all close and control it. And I think one thing you can control is changing someone else's life for the better. So in these times when we feel like there's nothing that we can focus on, or there's nothing that we can control because life seems so unknown right now, and that's what it is unknown, there is one sure thing we can do, and that is give back. That always remains a need. And I find a bit of solace in that. Another person that I need to put in there is Lee Kilton Smith, who's first acting coach for me, who then became a dear friend, married my wife and I, but also she is the one who very early on, about 10 years ago, started taking me to the orphanage in Tijuana. And it was her who was like, you know what, you think, we're all so self-involved young actors, thinking about what's our next move. And it was time to get out of that headspace. And it was time to see the world that you're trying to portray on screen. You have to be involved. Right. You have to get involved with humanity if you want.
Well, we really appreciate what you're doing. I mean, you're a true leader in many, many areas, and we so appreciate you. We just heard a little voice around there. I'm wondering if you want to tell us probably about your most important job, which has to do with taking care of your 3-year-old. Are your daddy skills being put to the test right now?
Well, they definitely are. I mean, I think daddy skills, husband skills, which I lack, are definitely being put under test. But it's hard work. But at the same time, I feel very fortunate that I can enjoy this time with my family. And we've always made it a priority. My wife is very adamant about anywhere I go to work, about bringing the family there. So I see Ever when I come home. I see my wife when I come home. It's such a luxury that it doesn't escape me. But yeah, I mean, like every family, we're having our tough ones, and she's 3,
But you're cooking, you're bathing, you're changing her clothing, and you're playing.
I'm wiping butt.
Because you are her toy now.
I'm wiping her butt. Let's be honest. That's what I'm doing. I'm wiping a lot of butts, mainly my daughters.
Yeah. You're making memories. That's what you're doing.
You're keeping busy during these times because you are a spokesperson for Migrant Women for Justice right now. You work with other farm worker organizations like Farm Worker Justice, and you help the Dolores Huerta Foundation. And tell us about the initiative of the masks that you're working with.
Right.
Promote.
It's so funny when you bring up all the different organizations. That's what's so funny. It's hard to they're so interwoven, and when the call goes out, everybody responds that they all come together, whether it's Justice for Migrant Women, whether it's Mujer X Rising, Monica Ramirez, everything she's involved with farm workers, Hispanic Heritage Foundation, Hispanics in Philanthropy. Everybody's kind of coming together. And it's so hard to kind of divest those and see, because everybody comes together for the cause. Yeah. For me, this specifically, Antonio Tijerino brought me into something that Mario de la Torre, who was a famous fashion designer, really wanted to do something to the cause that he saw a need for, and immediately went to work with other seamstress designer friends and started chucking out sewing their own masks to support farm workers. And he then went to Monica Ramirez, who went to Antonio Tijerino, and the way he called me up. And 3 days later, we had done an interview for MSNBC and are looking at a $100,000 donation that came directly from that.
That's what your involvement
Unofficial,
brings.
another one like that to match, you know? So it's that testament to when just a few people come together, you can actually affect that kind of change. And that's what's so amazing about the way we can all stay in touch now, the way we can have this meeting together right now. It's so tough not being in the studio with you because, you know, I love you as a dear family member, Belle, and you know, we know each other so well that it's tough not to be there with you, but I feel like I am, you know,
Yes.
and the way that we can bridge this is using this technology. And
Thank goodness for technology. In this case, we love it.
Yes, we do. And you're also supporting Altissimo Live, right?
Altissimo Live is all going to benefit our hashtag Mask for Farm Workers is the the hashtag we're working under. But Altissimo Live will go to benefit our relief fund, and it's another way that everybody kind of came together when the need arose. And my understanding is there's going to be a lot of variety acts, some comedy skits, and different informative sessions. I'll be doing an interview with what I've been told is a farm worker who became an astronaut, which is really an awesome, interesting story.
Wow.
As well as hopefully getting an interview with Mario and talk about what led him to start Mask for Farm Workers and how he's been overwhelmed at the response.
Okay, we have really enjoyed having you, Nicholas.
Shall we do a Cinco de Mayo toast?
Yeah. A Cinco de
Raise
Mayo
your
toast.
border town glass and happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody.
Change the world on this Cinco de Mayo. Salud. Salud. All right, everyone. Don't forget to follow us on the Trend Talk. And we really enjoyed having Nicholas Gonzalez. Please don't forget to follow him and support Altissimo Live.
And remember, if it's trending, we're talking.
Thanks, Nicholas.
Bye, Nicholas.